All right, welcome back to Simi Podcast. This is the first official episode, episode one. I'm on my porch again because it's still very cold out. I don't have the exact temperature, but it's pretty cold. I once again had to move the security camera so it's not looking at me, which is super fun. Um, Very cold. Really realizing how much if my neighbor were to come down, they would see me just sitting here talking to myself. It's a little silly. Um, Hopefully, once it gets warmer, I'll be able to trek out a little bit into the woods and feel less awkward. But that's not a today thing. The cat is in the window behind me, absolutely meowing up a storm. Very silly. Um, anyway, let's see. I got I think that picked up. I got my sheet here. I actually typed it up this time and printed it, so I still don't have any internet out here, no distractions really on this computer. But Temperature and weather is number one, of course. It is very cold, very yuck. Not as cold as last week, and not as yuck. It's kind of dried up a bit. I can see the lake. There is a lake near me. I can see the lake is still frozen. Not quite as frozen. It's kind of started to thaw by the shores, but still frozen. The snow is melted. The ice is gone on the roads and stuff, but there is still disparate mounds of snow here and there. Like it's still chilly. It's still definitely winter. Though that groundhog did in fact say early spring. I'm excited. Um, but that's big. Um, Last week I had said that I was gonna make beef stroganoff, but like janky, and then I didn't actually end up doing that at all. What I ended up doing was me and my boyfriend made chicken parm, but not the normal kind of chicken parm because I can't eat anything. So it was basically just gluten free noodles and some sauce made out of tomato paste because I don't like the texture of normal tomatoes. And then we just breaded some chicken that we had cut up and fried it and then put it on top and kind of had it as a whole thing. It's basically chicken parm, just without the baking step and without any of the real ingredients except for the chicken. So that was fun. It was good. I liked it a lot. More follow ups from last video. We got from the comments. I do agree that Chunkus would be a funny guest. I agree. I don't think he'd be necessarily a co-host option, um, but I do think that he would be a pretty funny guest to have on. We could talk about some movies and stuff because he's a big movie guy. I don't watch many movies, but he's a big movie guy. Like we saw Dune 1 together, me and him. He's a person that I know IRL. As I said last video, like most of the people that follow me are just people that I know IRL. But like me and him saw Dune 1 together, just as COVID was kind of COVID restrictions and stuff were winding down. We could, I don't know. I haven't seen Dune 2 yet. Is it even out yet? I don't even know if it's out yet. I'm recording this on the 6th of February, but like I don't know when Dune 2 comes out. I saw that there was the meme about the popcorn container, but I can't have popcorn at movie theaters. But point being is like there could be a thing that we could like go see Dune 2 and then maybe come back from it and talk about it. I don't know. But like I can't plan anything for the life of me, so we're not gonna set that in stone or anything. Um, Another thing from last episode, I said I felt like kind of garbage because I wasn't sure what it was from though. I did learn it was not from the hash browns because I had the hash browns again later and I was fine. And so it was definitely cross contamination with the taquitos that my boyfriend had. And I somehow they got crossed a little bit. And I'm really hoping that's true because I just ate six more hash browns. Like before recording this, I was like, man, I'm really hungry after getting home from work. I'm going to eat hash browns. So I made six hash browns. They were really good. Um, and that's kind of all the stuff from before, like kind of wrap up stuff from the previous episode. Um, Now I'm just going to kind of talk about some stuff. That's really what it's going to be. I'm just going to kind of go through. I got like a couple short things to talk about, and then I'm going to talk about a couple longer topics. But we're going to see how long this goes. I have like a full page of size 12 Atkinson hyperlegible, hyperlegible font. It's the one I use. It's the default one for people who can't read. Um, and I've got it on a page, and I'm going to go through it. First and foremost, over the weekend, I went over to my boyfriend's as I normally do on the weekends because I had to do my laundry, right? And as I said, the laundry here, I don't have a washer or a dryer in when it's not like hooked up because like it gets cold and it freezes the washing machine in the building that it's in. So I have to bring it to my boyfriend's. And so we were there chilling, doing the laundry, doing the last load because he had done a couple loads a couple days ago, but we had to go through one load, which is, an hour in the washing machine, then an hour in the dryer. So it's like going to be about 2 hours or and change. And he wanted to put on a movie, and we were just like browsing. And then he asked me if I'd ever seen the movie Storks, which, for those that don't know, is I believe a 2014 or 2016. It's the year before Boss Baby. It's made by Warner Brothers like animation or something, which is like not real. So it's like not one of the big ones that made it. It's just called Storks, and it's about the Storks. And the general plot, and spoiler warnings for anyone that wants to see the movie Storks. But basically, it's a movie in which the storks stop delivering babies because it's too hard. And not only is it too hard, but sometimes the storks, will end up growing attached to the babies and they won't want to deliver them. So they're a liability. So they pivot to basically becoming Amazon. They call it corner store in the movie. I made a note of that because I was going to forget. But like they call it corner store, but it's basically just Amazon where people put in things and then the storks deliver the packages. Like it's a pretty straightforward idea. And then through some accident, a baby gets, created in the factory and they have to go deliver the baby and then blah, blah, blah. And like it's pretty predictable plot. But there's a couple parts that were like weird because like the main plot is that the the original stork that acts was like the real pivoting point for this stork economy to turn to corner store was they were like, oh no, I really like this kid, I don't want to get rid of them, and they broke the little beacon that finds the home, so they had to keep the kid until they were 18, which is like fair. Okay, that's like a fair plot point. But then they make that kid who is now just turned 18 and they're about to get rid of a key component of the adventure to go get the like to go deliver this baby to the right person, and they have to go with this guy stork. And it's very clear that they are alluding to the fact that they are acting as mother and father to this baby that's not theirs. It is going to someone else, and it's a bird that's a guy that is just about to become CEO of a company, and an 18-year-old who has just turned 18 and has no idea about society because they've lived with storks their whole life. And it's just like a weird vibe. It's just such a weird vibe. And like the combination, like without the weird external stuff, is fine. Like they're a fine combination. They don't like do anything weird on screen. Like they never have like an on-screen moment that isn't anything other than like they are playing the roles that have been handed to them. But like there's a weird like subplot, not even subplot. It's like just a weird thing that's like, hey, this is okay. This found family plot line is real, and we're gonna kind of go with it a little bit. Like it was just a weird vibe that I got from it. And then the other thing is there was like a very clear subplot about how parents should pay more attention to their kids and have fun moments with their kids while they're young because they're formative memories and stuff. And it was a good plot, and I think it was fine actually. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than it was, and it ended up being a lot better than I thought it was. But there was no real conclusion. The movie had, I forget how long it was, but it definitely could have had like 15 extra minutes of better closure. Because like if you were to draw it on a graph, it would be up the whole way. Like there'd be like the what is it, the mountain thing? Like there would just be up, and then there'd be like a slight tick down and be done and be over. Like there's no time for resolution. Like they basically just beat the bad guy, which is like the guy who's running the corner store, like the CEO. Like they beat the CEO at the end, and then and they're like, okay, now we're gonna start delivering babies again. And like they beat him, and then it's like immediately, like the second they beat him, it's like a song, and they're just like wrapping up plot lines willy nilly over like the course of 2 minutes, and then they're done. They're out, and it's like, dude, where's any of the payoff? Like you just like there was like 6 plot lines and you've wrapped them all up in 2 minutes, and I feel like only one of them had even a little bit of the time that it should have had. Like there's just a lot. There was a lot to be desired. There's a lot to be desired in that one. And then the last thing with that movie is okay. So Corner Store was very clearly Amazon. It was so clearly Amazon, and they made like literally no effort to make any commentary about like Amazon being like kind of like like they didn't like they were just like Amazon, like they were made like the most surface level joke reference stuff to it. It was like, oh, it's really good at being a store, and it's the one that everyone buys from, and it is a store that makes money, and it's you use it online. Like it was like the most surface level stuff, and like it just didn't. There was no commentary on any of it, and I wanted it so bad. Like I wanted it to say anything. I wanted it to have any opinion on Amazon that wasn't neutral, and it didn't. And I was so mad. But yeah, the movie Storks, it was good. I mean, the animation was good. It had a really, I mean, it had some pretty solid humor, to be honest, in parts of it. Um, the main duo of the main orphan girl and the stork, the main stork, was pretty good. I mean, they were good on screen. Like the animation was pretty good. Like overall, just in general, it was like a good movie. Like I would probably rate it like a 6 or a 7. Like generally pretty good. But it was just weird, and it's on my mind, so I'm talking about it. I keep hearing a noise, and I think it's just a squirrel, but I can't see it. I'm losing my mind a little bit. This is why I live inside. This is why I'm always inside my house. Like, what is going on? Why did I choose to do this outside? This makes no sense. Anyway, that's that. Um, on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, I honestly do not remember which. Um, I recorded a video for the first time in a long time. It feels like, and I recorded a video for Risk of Rain 2, my favorite game, and I did that. I haven't edited it. I haven't done anything, but I'm gonna make it into some sort of video to just like normally post because I want to get back into it because I liked doing it and it was fun. And it was about doing this new version of Simulacrum where it's like modded and it's got an alternate. You can kind of beat Simulacrum, which is a wave based mode, which traditionally doesn't have an end, unlike the normal single player. But I actually was able to do it essentially first try. Like I accidentally played without recording for a little bit because I forgot. But then once I did record it, like I beat it first try, which is kind of a problem. So I installed a so that was like the recording, and then I installed the Inferno mod, the harder difficulty mod, one of the many. And because currently the Inferno and Downpour, like the two main ones, they used to combine together, but now it looks like they don't. So I kind of want to wait till they combine together again because it was fun when they did that. But I tried it on Inferno. It was much harder, and I couldn't get nearly as far in it. And that's kind of more what I want because I like the challenge. I really like the challenge. Um, Not on my list, but uh, to look forward to, I guess. I tried the demo to Pacific Drive, which is like the new car roguelike survival game, or roguelite more like, because it's very much persistent upgrade stuff. But it looked really fun. I played it for like 2.5 hours. It was really fun, but then I tried to get as far into it as I could without like beating the demo, so to speak, because it said at the beginning that whatever you do won't transfer over to the full game. So I was like, okay, I played my 2.5 hours. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm really excited for where this goes. I'm going to pay for the game. I'm just gonna wait for the game to come out and then download it and then I'll record it and play it because then I'll be able to have a recording out of it. I'll have fun with it. I'll be able to play my new game, and it'll be fun. And so that's what I did. I bought it and I'm just waiting for it because I am excited for it. It does look really really good. I don't want to say too much about it in case other people want to look at it. By the way, it's Steam Next Fest right now. If you are in the past, the Steam Next Fest right now. So like I downloaded a couple different. Um, I don't even know what that noise was. Oh, it's the cat. I was like, oh, I thought there was a child screaming in the distance. It's the cat behind me. She's just looking at me. She thinks I'm nuts. But Pacific like anyway, but I downloaded a couple games. Pacific Drive definitely caught my interest the most, and it's been one that's been on my wish list for a little bit. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for Pacific Drive. So expect to see videos of that in the future whenever it comes out on the 22nd, I think. Um, okay, so now we're gonna get to kind of the bulk of the video that I think is gonna happen. Where I'm just gonna. It's only been 15 minutes. What in the world? I feel like I've talked for 4 hours. I probably should have grabbed a drink before I came out here. I said that last time too. I'm pretty sure. I definitely need a drink for when I do this. But we're gonna kind of. I'm just gonna kind of talk about where I draw inspiration from and where like who I watch when I am like using YouTube, because like YouTube is like the only platform I use. I pay for YouTube, whatever it's called, YouTube Premium, and I have for like I think over a year now. I think it's been like 2 or 3 years, but like YouTube is basically the only platform I use, and so paying for it makes a lot of sense for me. Even though I have like ad block on different things, um, like having YouTube Premium has kind of given me a lot of peace of mind because like first off, I know that the creators are getting paid rather than getting gypped out of the ad money. And the other one is like it's just really nice for me because I don't listen to music very often, and the bundled in music is like it's like exactly what I need. Like it is. I can listen to the most janky random nonsense. Like it'll recommend me in the YouTube music. It'll be like, would you like to listen to this 1.5 hour Toho jazz from a video that you like half remember clicking on once? And I'm like, why, yes, I do. I do want 1.5 hour Toho jazz. And it's like, I don't know, it's like, it's very good for me. So like paying for it's made a lot of sense. But like I've been watching the YouTube game for a while, and I've helped other people like talk through the YouTube game for a while. Like I'm not a big creator by any means. Obviously, me when 76 or subscribers or whatever, but I've seen a lot of it. Like I've been watching for a while. Like I unfortunately used to watch Equals 3 back when Robbie was the host. Not when Ray William Johnson, but like around the time that they changed hosts, that's when I watched. So like I've been watching YouTube for a while, and kind of changing my tastes and kind of tuning it to different things, and I've been watching for a while, and I've kind of specifically I like watching channels about like the platform, or not channels, but like specifically just like videos about the platform itself and like commentary on the platform and how to do well on the platform. Because like not that I'm gonna do any of it, like screw that, but like I can help point people in the right directions if they want to do certain things. I can kind of give them examples of what to do and what not to do. Anyway, not the point. Um, my dream at this point, for whatever reason, is like to become a YouTube manager for like all of my friends, and just like they make all the cool stuff and then I just like manage the whole thing. Like that'd be awesome. I would love that. But so I got this big list of who I draw inspiration from, and I'm going to talk about kind of each one, and that's kind of be like the new thing for this kind of bit of the podcast. But so number one, they're not in any order, but number one on this list is The Yard. I'm gonna burp. Ooh, that was awful. Oh, that picked up. Oh, I can see it on Audacity here. It's ooh, that's anyway. Um, excuse me, by the way. Anyway, but The Yard is kind of like the big one. I've didn't start watching them at first. I hopped in at like episode maybe like not even 100. It must have been like 50ish. And I've gone in and out of the different like different times. Like sometimes I really like to watch it. Sometimes I cool off for a bit, and then when they have a guest on that I really like, I'll hop back in. And that's kind of like my best kind of podcast, where it's very episodic, where you can kind of like do hop in at any time. And that's kind of like the big thing that I like and I want to do, where I kind of have a set structure, but you can hop in at any time. And if the guest is on that you like, and you can watch it, but like there's no real like lost. Like there are bits that carry over in episodes of The Yard, but like you can still follow it very easily without ever really needing those references, and you can kind of make sense of them. If you watch 2 episodes in a row, like you'll see a lot of stuff carry over, but like you'll still see stuff from like 30 episodes ago also carry over. And like not understanding where those bits come from doesn't lose the value of those bits, because they still weave them in as its own bit. It's very, I don't know, it's just a very well made podcast. And also like they obviously have a set being out, yeah, outside in the yard, like, you know, a couple of boys talking, and I like that a lot. Um, Me being outside isn't really to do with that. It's more so I just wanted to think of something that would put me outside my comfort zone and allow me to do something that I don't normally do, which is, you know, I turn off all the, you know, cellulars and stuff, and I walk outside and I sit down and I record and I talk. And it's very different from what I normally do. And like if I have guests on, I'm gonna try really hard at first for like the first couple of guests to like do it physically outside in the woods, no like connections and stuff, doing it silly mode, you know? And so that's to look forward to. But like kind of just having this setting and stuff. And eventually maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll hook up a camera to my laptop. But like right now it's just running off of my laptop and my Rode mic. Like this mic, I just unscrew it uh off my computer stand, like the mic stand, and I just put it on its little platform stand, and then I hook it up with a USB-C cable to my laptop, and then I just walk outside. That's literally my entire process right now. And so kind of having like a set standard thing, and like I don't know, the yard has just been pretty good with that. Um, Next on my list is CJ the X. CJ the X kind of very quickly became a favorite of mine, and I've watched a lot of his stuff multiple times. Um, but like they're just really good at building a narrative into video essays. Also, he's just they're just really good at doing what's it called, ranting, but staying coherent, which is really impressive. Um, and their video on specifically Jeffrey Bezos, what's his name, Bo Burnham, the Bo Burnham song, that one where it's where he devolves into just like you're a cyborg. That video is awesome. But building a narrative and, you know, having a starting point that everyone can agree on and kind of leading them to the conclusion, they're really good at it. Really, really good at it. Also, just love I like the Twilight video a lot. Even though I've never seen Twilight, I kind of want to watch Twilight now that I've, you know, seen it. And then the No Way Home video, also never seen No Way Home, but I have no desire to watch that movie. I do not care about a single Jinang Marvel at all. But um, yeah, I really like that video a lot. Huge fan. The sun is starting to go down, and by starting to go down, I mean the street light that's outside my house has turned on. I am in the woods, but there is a street light outside my house. I promise it all makes sense. It's turned on, I've noticed, and it's casting really silly shadows. But as I was saying, the Spider-Man No Way Home, that one's an awesome video. It's about how it's sexist because of corporate nonsense. It's very good. But CJ is able to just build really cool narratives into their stuff, which is really cool. A very, very newcomer, local script man. He's really cool. He's just very good at describing the tactile process in which you should come up with ideas for a story. Because I've had lots of ideas for stories. I've, what is it, in my Google Drive, I have this section in which this is part of, but there's a um, content ideas section, and content covers the whole spectrum from like a show to a book to a movie to a podcast to a YouTube video. It's kind of any idea that falls in that zone. And I've wanted to do a thing with that for a long time. And him bringing it down so succinctly has been very fun for me because it kind of is pushing me to like want to do it again, which is fun. Not that I have the time to do it, but I think it'd be really fun to do. Um, and like I'm gonna try to practice kind of in little ways using what he says. Local script man's awesome. He's very much he's the I don't know, I wouldn't call him the ideal YouTuber, but he's um very much has a conviction of what he says, and if he thinks it's not true, he'll take it down. Which like if he changes and he's like, I don't agree with this anymore, he'll take it down, which I think is really kind of admirable. It's like it's just a way that like the way that he sticks to his guns is really good. Um, Next on my list, H Bomber guy. I feel like that's like a no brainer. H Bomber guy. The recent video, obviously, I watched it like 3 times, clocked in my 12 hours. But H Bomber Guy's ability to just have such high quality and like keep you engaged for such a long runtime of a video in a topic that you don't really care about. Like it's just very, very good. Like I don't know. Like, there's no other way to describe it. Like it's just the quality of his work is incredibly impressive, and I've been watching for a long time for him too. Um, Breadsword is on here as well, also for quality. Um, in more so video essay than kind of anything video, because H. Bomber Guy was kind of like he kind of just makes videos. I wouldn't. Not all of them are really video essays, but he just makes videos, which is really cool. But Breadsword is very much a video essayist, as is like CJ, and Breadsword's videos, like the quality of them, especially the quality of the writing, is really impressive for me. Like there is so the video that I watched of his first, like I remember this like so well, was I put on videos in the car, not to watch obviously because I'm driving, but I put on videos in the car to like play as a podcast, kind of like this, where it's like I put something on, it's just there. Every now and then I glance at it or whatever, but nothing more than like if my phone was there and it was like doing G maps or whatever. But um, Breadsword, I remember putting on his video on Gurren Lagann and Getting It. Is the name of the video, and I remember watching it like very recently after watching Gurren Lagann for the second time. The first time I watched it by myself and I thought it was pretty good. And the second time I watched it with my friends. Like we all did like a group party and we watched it. And there was like 6 of us, I think. I think there was like 4 to 6 of us. And I was gonna go for a drive, and it was like a 55-minute video. Gurren Lagann and Getting It. I was like, okay, this sounds good. Like, sure, why not? And I watched the video, and to this day, like I think 2, 3, 4, maybe even 4 years later, honestly, I think it's more like 3. I think it's like 3 years later. Even though I've watched the video and listened to it, like probably upwards of 20 times at this point, there are 3 or 4 distinct sections of that video that legitimately actually give me chills because of how well written and well paced it is. Like there are parts that I can like that are like a little cheesy, and that's kind of fine for a video like it, but to talk about the subject of Gurren Lagann and tying in your own life experiences of kind of just being you know, put down, like there's a line in it where it's like talking about how it might seem like the universe has specifically made a series of circumstances that has designed a windmill dunk to dunk on you specifically. Like, and he talks about his own, loss and his own regrets. And it's just like, it's a very human, personal video to be talking about an anime about giant robots that came out in 2007 that is what it is. And it's just a very impressive video in terms of writing that I do not think I personally could ever match. But then maybe that's just me cutting myself short. Or maybe it's me putting him on a pedestal. I don't know. But Breadsword's videos are without a doubt some of the highest quality bars for writing, I think, personally. They're just so good. If I was to recommend one, though, it would either be Gurren Lagann and Getting It or the Tintin video, Tintin and the Shadow of Giants. That video is astonishing. I think it's actually my favorite. Another good one is the Sinbad one and the Robin Hood one and also the El Dorado one. And there's honestly most of them. They're all pretty good, to be honest. If you've seen the thing in them, it helps, but you don't have to. The Robin Hood one especially. You don't have to know all of Robin Hood to get it. It's very good. Next on my list is Ahoy. Ahoy I have on this list because he has a very also once again like depth of knowledge. Like the quality is crazy. I'm shifting in my chair a little bit. It's cold out here. The Ahoy. His videos are very stylized. Like he makes all of his graphics. He makes all of his own music too, which is kind of nuts. But like the style of the video is just very unique to him because he makes all these graphics that are simple color palettes, and he has a very specific style of like showing if like a game is on screen. He talks about the history of like gaming and stuff mostly, and like different firearms is like his main shtick. But he does other things too. I think his long form videos are some of his best personally, and I don't know if he thinks that, but I think it's very understandable to kind of like he has a thing that he'll fall back on, which is talking about firearms in different games, and how it's like progressed. But his longer form stuff, I think, is some of his best, and specifically the Amiga video. Not the Amiga video. The first video game. The first video game video is the coolest looking video I think ever. Potentially like the most stylized, cool video. Mostly just because it's entirely done as if he's doing it on one of those old projectors, the slide projectors, like where you roll it into the classroom and it's got like just a light and then a mirror and you put the thing on top of it. That's like the entire video. And it's so good. It's like an hour and a change, like it's a little bit over an hour. It's like so good and visually just like has such a style to it. Like it just exudes style. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And then the obligatory one though is his first video essay, which was broken into parts, and then he made it as one big one, and he posted that too. And it's Nuclear Fruits, how the video games grew up during the Cold War. Nuclear Fruits is a banger, dude. It's like a certified classic, honestly. It's just so fun to like just watch. Like it's such a good one. And that one also, despite me having seen it like, I don't know, 6 times. I think there's a duck over there. That's so exciting. But despite me seeing it like 6 or so times, like the ending line of Nuclear Fruits, oh my gosh, it's good. I'm a huge fan of Ahoy. And his Monkey Island video is also really good. I like watching that one a lot. Next on my list is Funky. Funky, or however you do it. It's capital F or capital all caps Funk and then a lowercase e. Funky is an animator. Usually makes some shorter content, sometimes makes some longer content. He's very much, in my opinion, a creator that you watch for the creator, not what he's saying. Like he's very much a exhibit in how to not pigeonhole yourself and how to not like just be known for one thing. Like he's known for animating and animating in a certain style, and it's a very thing that he does, but it's not the topics you cover. It's you come for him because he has certain views about things that are interesting, and you're like, oh, I agree or I disagree, and it's very much like he'll talk about whatever interests him, and like it's usually gaming related because like he likes games, but like he'll also talk about music stuff because he likes music, and he'll talk about just like whatever's on his mind, and I think that's really good because like that's what I want to do. I just want to talk about stuff and not pigeonholing myself into one little cavity or whatever. I don't know if I have a personal favorite. Actually, I think my personal favorite of his is the movement speed video, which is like the weirdest one of his, where he goes through like it's a bunch of like smaller segments, but it kind of morphs from talking about movement shooters and how they've like the history of them and how they've come along to kind of like a weird retrospective on the like I think it's what is it? It's like the Shadow Warrior or Shadow Ninja Warrior. I don't know. It's some video game. It's threequel, and it just talks about the movement in specifically those games and how those games work. And so like the first half of it is like really kind of vague general information about movement shooters, and then it just turns into like just a full on review of this threequel of games. Very weird, very silly. Second to last on this list of where I draw inspiration from is Lemino. Lemino I've been watching since he did top 10 lists, which seems like a long time ago at this point. I'm not going to check, but I'm going to feel old saying it. Like I remember watching Lemino videos when he still went by top 10 memes. Like that's how long ago I was watching these videos. And Lemino has now built, a kind of, brand or like a style around doing these super long form, super in depth, very visually different, visually distinct, like high quality, basically just documentaries on certain subjects. I remember the Dyatlov Pass video vividly, even though I've only seen it maybe twice. But like I remember first watching it very vividly. The Kennedy assassination one was obviously very good. I think my personal favorite one is the Bygone Visions of the Future, and honestly, any of the top 10 space facts ones are just bangers. The most recent one, I think it's like the 10th or 11th time they've done it, but that was that felt weird, but um, it barely feels like a top 10 list because he talks so long on each part. It's just very much you can tell that he's interested, and it's like he has a cool fact to share, and I think that's really fun for him. But let me know is just like he's very much an ideal creator in the fact that like you see when he posts and you know it's going to be a banger. Like you just know, and it could be 6 months, it could be 12 months, it could be like 3 years, and you'll know that if he drops something, it's gonna be a banger. It is just really fun. I really enjoy kind of following that and kind of being inspired to be able to do that. Where it's like if I drop something, if I make something, the precedent should be there, and that's really good. And then lastly on this list is kind of like where I'm gonna use it as a transition point, where it's kind of both. But and I hate this name so much, and I don't care if he cares. Um, but Senpai Gaming, while having potentially the worst name of all time, and I kind of hate it a lot, um, the guy behind it, Harry, I'm losing it. I just got messaged. Uh, the guy behind it, Harris, says his name's Harris. Um, but like he's just got a lot of knowledge. He's got so much knowledge in his head, and so I like watching most of the videos, even if they don't directly pertain to me. So like I just kind of watch him, but he has a lot of very good takes on a lot of stuff and being in, being having integrity, but like talking about gear, um, talking about different gear for streaming, for YouTube, for this, for that, camera gear, mic gear, and then also just like how you should go about doing different things, like how you should handle yourself. And it's like it's very much a streamer, YouTuber focused. Like this is how you should be. Like, this is a how-to guide, and it's very helpful. I don't know. I like watching this stuff. I think it's very interesting. Um, People who I watch just kind of like that don't kind of fit this whole vibe because like these are all people that I watch, but like I watch because I feel inspired by them. Um, but who I watch just in general, unfortunately, I watched Mogul Mail, the old Ludwig. I used to watch a lot more Ludwig content, but I kind of fell off because I'm stupid. But mostly because I think I just grew up a little bit and don't I don't know. It's just that kind of content doesn't get to me anymore. But Mogul Males I still watch because I love the drama. I love the drama. But Mogul Males I like, and I think they're good. And with that, I also watch a bit of Atriarch because he talks about mostly worldly stuff. I don't watch too much of the other content, but if it pertains to worldly, I like the Marketing Mondays and wins and fails. Like that's the good stuff because I like to be informed, but I also don't care enough to read. But Atrax's good for that. Billiam, I love that first Lost video. For whatever reason, I am too stupid to get through the second Lost video and or the third one because they're both out now. And I've only watched like 20 minutes of the second one, but I've watched the first one 3 times, even though the third time I rewatched it was after the second one had come out. And I had no intentions of watching the second one after I finished the first one. I was just like, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I literally don't know what's wrong with me. I love the first video so much. It's so interesting. Lost is so interesting. I might watch just Lost, honestly. But Billy, he has some other videos that are really good too. Um, Specifically the one on Code Lyoko, I remember very vividly. And then they're just, I don't know, he just makes some really fun videos. The most recent one was pretty good too, about the funny cruise or whatever. I don't know, it was good. Oh, I like the guy. Billiam's cool. Vale Fisk, I'm a huge fan of the funny, stupid guy that makes horrid nonsense for his friends to do. Um, I haven't watched all of his videos, and it's very hit or miss. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Sometimes I'm like, I don't care, dude. I really like the bus video where he just makes bus lines in like Sim City or whatever, and it's awful or whatever what it's called. Skyline City Skylines. And it's awful. Like that one's just awesome. The AI video game one is or board game one is good. There's just I don't know. They're hit or miss. They're fun. Value Select and Jazz Emu I have as one line, but they really should be separate. But Value Select I've been watching for a while. Value Select is just like the epitome of way too much effort, always always a banger, no credit. Like, this man should have so much more subscribers, and like the quality of the videos is so high, but just no one watches them, and it's a really big shame because I think Value Select should have honestly like a billion million subscribers for what he does. He's crazy. And with that, he collabed with Jazemu, which is how I figured out about Jazemu. But Jazemu is very similar, except much more. Actually, I don't even know if I can say much more musically focused, because Value Select is also pretty musically focused. But Jazemu is a very much along those lines of short form sketches and musical content. And the most recent album, or maybe it was an EP, I think it was an album though, by Jazemu, the Strutkov combo song, it's permanently in my brain at this point. It's very fun. I also really like the ending song to the Digital Spool album, which is just titled Digital Spool. It's a banger. There's a couple other songs by Jazemu that I like a lot. Monotone's pretty good. Like he's just really good. He's just really good. And then Value Select, of course, there's a lot of classics from Value Select that like live in my head rent free, so to speak. But the best one that I can think of is the Jeans on the Beach. I think it's the '80s remix or whatever, where he just remixed his own like 30-second song, but like in an '80s. I don't know. It was good. I liked it a lot. He's got a couple of really good bangers in there. Second to last on this list of who I watch is Matrix Slide, who I've put on here so that I have to mention it. Matrix Slide is a creator with only 2 videos, and they are made, I believe, a decade apart. And what they are is, the first one is very clearly just a video that a kid made for like a class in like maybe middle school, maybe very, very early high school, like maybe 7th to 9th grade, like very young child. And they've made this video that's like 2.5 minutes long, and that's for a class, and they posted it on YouTube so they could easily bring it up in the class, and it accidentally popped off. It recently this year passed 1 million views. It is hands down my favorite video on the platform forever, I think. I don't think anything will ever top it. It is so good. And then the other video is a recreation by the same guy with his friends 10 years after the fact. It's like 10 or 5. It's 5 or 10 years after the fact. And it's just anyway, the video in title is called Hot Dr. Pepper, and it's about the histories of egg whites. It's mostly a how-to guide of how to make hot Dr. Pepper, which is not hard. It's just like you just heat it up in a pan, and then you add a lemon to it, and you throw it in a glass, and you're like, bam, it's hot Dr. Pepper. It tastes kind of like tea, and it's flat now, and it's warm. Like, it's not a insane thing, and I've done it. Like, it's tasty. Like, I've also drank Dr. Pepper that's just been like left in a car. Like, I'm not a connoisseur, but hot Dr. Pepper is a really interesting thing, and this 2.5 minute video by Matrix Slide is so good. There are parts of it that have me on the floor laughing literally every time. It's just so good. It's so unintentionally, I think, good. It's just so good. I love it so much. The second video is also really good. It's like a really funny. It's like really fun to like kind of watch as he's like grown up and be like, whoa, look at that, he grew up. But the first video especially is super good. I love it so much. The part where he says, and if it's a glass made of glass, glass, it's, and then the other bit that really gets me is the part at the end, or there's actually more parts, but there's one part in the middle where he goes, if you go to the facts and questions page of the Dr. Pepper website, which is not true. There is no facts and question page. That's not what FAQ means. FAQ is frequently asked questions. It's not facts and questions. What are you doing? Like, I don't. It's just insane because he just says it with such confidence. You don't even notice it unless someone points it out like I do, like an asshole. And it's like, it's just so clearly like a kid that like didn't really proofread or didn't have like he was just kind of making something to make something. And it's, I don't know. It's there's something very pure about it. And then at the very end, he goes, well, first off, there's the popping lemon bit, and you can watch the video. I might link it in the comments or in the description, but the like the ending of the video is just in a little carbonation, and I'll see you next time. And it's so good. The way he says it is so good, and honestly, I hope to see him again. I really do. I would love to meet this person. It's so funny. And And then last on my list, I honestly should have ended with Matrix Slide, but it's the way I'm just going down the list. The last one is Hive Mind. I've kind of been in and out of Hive Mind a lot. I like the bracket videos. I'm not. The game videos can be good. I don't know. Their bits, the bits bracket was good. Bits bracket 2, not so much. I just recently saw that. I believe this afternoon they're posting a third worst songs bracket. They have a habit of kind of beating a dead horse a lot. I don't know. They have some pretty good stuff, and I'll go back and watch some of the ones that I like the first worst songs bracket, the first Hive Mind Bits bracket. Um, a couple of the Hive Mind Feud episodes I like to rewatch just because they're like fun, high energy, and they've got like a guest on it, and it's more fun. But generally speaking, like I don't know, they're real hit or miss for me lately though, and they're very much I don't know. It's just I can't tell if I like them or not. And they talk about a subject that I don't even really care about, which is like they mostly talk about like rap music and music in general. And I don't give a crap about music. Literally, I sent an image the other day in a Discord where they were talking about music, and then I was like, I like YouTube music, and they're like, what are you talking about? This sucks. And I was like, well, it works for me. And then I sent like my a screenshot of the like quick pick songs where it's like, hey, pick a song to like that you like to get into the mix, and the options were Caramel Danson, the like Nightcore remix of that one Swedish song. Um, what's it called? Magic by B.O.B. and that someone Rivera or whatever. The song that everyone I think hates except for me. And then the third one is I think was literally the Strotkoff combo by Jazzy Moo. And then it was just like your light songs, and those were the four. And I was like, yup, that's basically my music taste. But I don't know. They talk about it. It's cool. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not. And the Hive Mind has like 14 channels for some reason. I don't get it. They're very content pilled, I think, but it's okay. It's like fine sometimes. But Matrix Slide, dude, oh my gosh, you guys gotta watch the video with Matrix Slide. You gotta watch the Matrix Slide video so that everyone can comment and be like, oh my gosh, the Matrix Slide video. I'm gonna keep bringing it up. I'm gonna bring it up literally for the next billion years. Um, but that's that. Those are the who I watch. There's probably like there's other people that I watch, but like those are the main ones. Um, but that's basically it. 47 minutes. That's not bad. That's not bad. For dinner tonight, I kind of want to keep it simple. I might do something really simple like chicken nuggets and more of those freaking hash browns. They're so good. But I don't know. I don't know. Because I had meat sauce and noodles for the past couple nights. I've got some ground pork in the fridge. I've also got other stuff. We had tacos last night. That was pretty good. But I don't know what I'm gonna have tonight. I feel like I could just end every episode with like I'm gonna try this beef stroganoff thing and then just like never do it. But I don't know what I'm gonna have. I think there's a lot of options available to me, and I'm not sure which one I want to do most because I am indecisive about a lot of things. Um, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of a real good um, kind of like goodbye here for my food. I don't know. I'm honestly now thinking about it like some more. I do kind of just want meatloaf. I might make meatloaf. Bennett will not be happy. By the way, Bennett's my boyfriend. I always keep referring to him as my boyfriend, but his name is Bennett. Um, you will not care that I have leaked this information. But like, he does not like meatloaf. But I do kind of really want meatloaf and mashed potatoes. I think that'd be really good. I'm really in the mood for that now. All of a sudden, potatoes are just so good. They're just so good. And meatloaf in the oven, and then it'll heat up the place, and it'll be tasty and warm. Ooh, that'll be so good. Oh, I'm so hyped now. I think I might make meatloaf. Anyway, it is now definitely dark out. My toes are really cold. I made the horrible mistake of putting on Crocs. I was like, oh, I'm only going on the porch. Why did I do that? I'm wearing like the thinnest socks imaginable. I layered up everywhere else. And then on like the shoes, I was just like, whatever, Crocs will do. And I'm just sitting on my porch. It's like it's like probably about 30 degrees out, 32. Like it's cold. Why did I do this? What am I doing? Like this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. But I'm cold. Um, the animals have stopped making noises, but I don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe they're gonna kill me. But yeah, um, I'm gonna go inside and warm up and set this whole thing up so that it's ready to go on Friday. But for those that are still listening, I'm gonna go make meatloaf too. Is the other thing. I'm gonna go make meatloaf, have mashed potatoes. I think that's a good idea. I'm really hungry. Anyway, but see you next time.